Certainly. JavaScript provides several built-in array methods that allow you to manipulate arrays in various ways. Here's an example demonstrating some commonly used array methods. Push adds elements to the end of an array. Next method is pop, removes the last element from an array. Next method is unshift, adds elements to the beginning of an array. Next method is shift, removes the first element from an array. Next method is slice, returns a portion of an array. Next method is splice, adds or removes elements from an array at a specific index. Next method is indexOf, returns the index of the first occurrence of an element in an array. Next method is includes, checks if an array includes a specific element. Next method is forEach, executes a provided function once for each array element. Next method is map, creates a new array with the results of calling a provided function on every element. Next method is filter, creates a new array with elements that pass a test. Next method is find, returns the first element that satisfies a provided testing function. Next method is every, checks if all elements in an array pass a test. Next method is sum, checks if at least one element in an array passes a test. Next method is reduce, applies a function against an accumulator and each element in the array to reduce it to a single value. Next method is sort, sorts the elements of an array in place. Next method is reverse, reverses the elements of an array in place. Next method is join, joins all elements of an array into a string. Next method is isArray, checks if a variable is an array. Next method is concat, joins two or more arrays and returns a new array. Next method is flat, creates a new array with all subarray elements concatenated into it recursively up to the specified depth. Next method is fill, fills all the elements of an array with a static value from a start index to an end index. Next method is toString, converts an array to a string. Next method is reduceWrite, applies a function against an accumulator and each element in the array, from right to left. Next method is findIndex, returns the index of the first element that satisfies a provided testing. Next method is lastIndexOf, returns the last index at which a given element can be found in the array. Next method is flatMap, maps each element using a mapping function, then flattens the result into a new array. Next method is keys, returns a new array iterator object that contains the keys for each index in the array. Next method is values, returns a new array iterator object that contains the values for each index in the array. Next method is entries, returns a new array iterator object that contains key/value pairs for each index in the array. Next method is copyWithin, copies a sequence of elements within the array to the specified position. Next method is from, creates a new shallow copied array from an array-like or iterable object. Next method is symbol.iterator, symbol that returns the default iterator for an object, used in for, of loop. Next method is symbol.species, a property key that represents the constructor function that is used to create derived objects. These examples provide variations and alternative approaches to using array methods. Feel free to explore and adapt them based on your specific use cases and requirements.